Hi, thanks for taking the time to reschedule this meeting. Of course, we needed to cancel last month because of the last minute change to your shoot schedule. You shared with me that shoot schedule changes happen often, and on reflecting on that, I thought that would be frustrating for me. So I'm curious, are there any aspects of this industry that really frustrate you? Well, first off, thank you very much for working the schedule out so we could convene today to have a chat. I'm grateful for it. In reference to your question, I'd like to start off by saying I love this industry. I think that's apparent with everything I've talked about over the years. That said, there are, of course, some days that are not as smooth as others. There's always going to be a pro and a con, an up and a down, and some days can be frustrating. Things happen that make it frustrating or difficult to do the work that we do. But I don't see that as a problem within the industry. I see that as a reality of life. No matter what job, no matter what activity you're doing, there will be ups and downs. So overall, no, I love this industry, and the ups and downs that come with it are, well, part of what come with the business. Now, that said, there are two specific things that really drive me nuts and frustrate me to no end. And the reason they frustrate me to no end is I feel they can be removed with a little bit of understanding of what happens in an actor's day-to-day when they're not on set. So starting with that, the majority of working actors have a day job, a side job that allows them to make consistent income so they can pay the bills and meet all of the daily needs. These jobs are flexible, they're usually quite lucrative, and they allow us to bounce around in between gigs and then come back to work. So with that being the mainstay of the working actor's income, it's frustrating when we have to lose those shifts for things that can be avoided. And those 2 points within the industry are my frustrations. So here they are. The first point is what I call ineffective, inefficient, or sloppy production. I get booked on a gig. I'm all excited. I find out that the gig is going to shoot on the same day I'm scheduled for a shift at my day job. So I call my day job, I trade off my shift, I talk to my manager, and they say, go have a day doing your creative thing, and off I go. The night before the gig comes in, I get my call sheet, and my call sheet says that I'm requested to be on set for 10 a.m. So I get up, I get myself ready, and the next morning I'm on set at 10 a.m. Now at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I still haven't been called in. I haven't been in front of the camera. I've been sitting in the green room for the last 4 hours, wondering when my time is. So I speak with production. They say, oh, don't worry, just chill out for a couple more hours. You're not needed until around 6 or 7 o'clock tonight when we start to get into the night shoots. And there's the frustration. Production knows that I'm not going to be required until 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. They've sent out a mass call sheet and called every single person in that day for 10 a.m. And the response I've heard in this circumstance is, so that we knew that everybody was here, so that we could make sure everybody was on time, so that we could have you available in case of some changes that might or might not happen. In the end, that's sloppy, it's ineffective, and it's inefficient on production's side as 6 or 7 actors, or maybe 1 or 2 actors, whatever it is, sit in the green room, reading a book, talking, whiling away the day, waiting for a 7 or 8 hour time frame to go by before they get in front of the camera. The impact of that time where I'm not actually needed on set means that I've given up a shift and lost income, that I've created inconvenience for other people in order to go and do my creative thing. And in the end, all of this could have been resolved. I could have maintained my shift. I could have absolved the inconvenience if production took a little bit of time to organize the call sheet and say, these actors are not needed until 6 o'clock. We'll call them for 5 o'clock. In that circumstance, everybody's needs are met. No challenges are had, and it's all absolved by production being efficient and thoughtful to the way they schedule. So that's my first frustration. A production that's not thoughtful, that's inefficient, that doesn't take care to make a call sheet that's appropriate. It can be avoided, and everybody wins. Now, the second thing that really frustrates me is something that is relatively new since I was an actor. In the last 2 years or so, I've been seeing a lot of audition requests that require a pre-screen. Now, pre-screen is an audition that goes in as your initial submission. Now, I'll pause right there. Prior to the advance of this pre-screen moment, the pre-screening process was an agent or an actor submitting their photo and their resume to casting. Casting looked at all the photos and resumes, and based on what they already know they're looking for in terms of character look, clout of resume, and all of those things that are required off the bat, they narrow down those submissions to 10 actors, let's say. And then those 10 actors are given sides and material to read to see if the photos and the acting work come together to warrant the person being cast. It's an efficient process. It means casting takes a little bit of time to select the people they're going to audition. With this pre-screen audition that I've been seeing more and more of, it means that actors or agents submit the photo, the resume, and an audition as part of the initial process. Now, the pre-screen or a pre-audition, that takes time. It's still an audition. As the actor, I'm going to look at the material. I'm going to take the length of time to develop the character and do my best work in the pre-screen. That could take anywhere from 2 to 8 hours. I'm then going to call a reader, and a friend of mine is going to have to volunteer their time to help me out to tape this, and that's going to take their time and my time. We've got to edit it, put it all together, and put it together as the part of the package. So we might spend, as an actor, somewhere between 4 and 6 hours in total getting the pre-screen audition together. So this all gets submitted. I'm now thinking I'm in contention. Casting agent opens up my package. They look at my photo as the first thing they do, and they go, "Oh, Geoff couldn't play this role. He's nothing like we're thinking this character should look like," and they move on. The 8 hours of work that I did in the pre-screen is never going to be looked at because I don't look like anything casting is already conceived for the concept of the character. That 8 hours is time, it's energy, it's money. And in that space, an actor or anyone else could be doing anything else, making money through the day job, working on another creative project. And it's frustrating to think that I'm putting in effort and energy and time for something that may never be looked at in the end. There are, let's say, 30 actors who put in that submission, that pre-screen. Maybe 5 actors will actually be picked to do the audition. And that means that of the 30 actors who have submitted, maybe 6 or 7 pre-screen auditions are actually being looked at. The rest are being cast aside because on initial photo or initial resume, casting, writer, directors, production have recognized that the actor who put in isn't going to suit their needs in the final project. There's 25 actors, 26 actors who just lost a day of work, who lost a day to develop their own project, who lost a day to whatever it might be. And this I find frustrating because we're putting in effort and energy and time for something that may never be looked at. I want to be clear, I have no problem putting in that energy and time and effort as an actor when casting has already narrowed me down and said, I want to see what you can do with the material because you're in consideration for the role. Yeah, I'm happy to lose a shift or give up my time or work late into the night because I'm in consideration among 5 or 6 other people who have already been selected. This rise of the pre-screen, I feel, is an advancement that is negative for the industry. It takes away energy, time, and money from everybody involved, and in the end, isn't even viewed by so many. So it's frustrating because it doesn't need to exist, and the time and energy don't need to be wasted. These 2 things are the 2 things that frustrate me to no end. When I see a pre-screen audition, I lose it. And I think, will they even look at it if I don't fit the breakdown or the image they already have? Or when I get called to set and I sit there and discover that simply because production was too lazy to organize their day, they mass called everybody, and I'm going to sit there for 8 hours doing nothing until they actually need my energy and efforts in front of the camera. Both can be avoided. When you take those two frustrations away, I love this industry. However, you've got to work with the game you're given. That's the game we're given. So we have to, I don't know, I'd say bite my tongue, but here I am talking about it. I guess the right phrase would be we have to roll with the punches on what we're working with. Thanks for asking. Hey everyone, thanks for watching Thoughts in the Green Room with Geoff Mays. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, subscribe, send it out to your friends, your family, your enemies, your frenemies, anybody that you think may enjoy hearing these words. I hope that these words are landing with you and creating some sort of impact or influence or thought for you, as that's what they're designed for. If you enjoyed, if you have a comment, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And as we've got into this, if you have a question that you'd like me to address as an actor, as an artist, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what it is. Leave me a way to contact you, and we will reach out to you to potentially use your question in Thoughts from the Green Room. Until the next time, we will see you here in the blue chair in the green room.